Actually, the history of Islam and whole of a Middle East is highly jumbled up. So, in the primary sources, we see that during the rise of Christianity and Islam, the word pagan is often used as a curse word for differing sects rather than the label for polytheist or belief of Roman, Persians, or Arab flavors. From a Muslim or Aryan Christian point of view, every sect that believed in anything other than a single and undivided Judaic God was actually pagan. They called Trinitarians associations and idolaters or also enemies of God as enemies of God because they, according to John of Damascus, he has I have put the quote over here. John of Damascus, according to John of Damascus, they had declared Christ to be the Son of the God. Likewise, acquisitions of idolatry stems from the venerations of the cross as well. We see it happening various times. God is one. Say, we see that it's clearly said that God is one. Say not three. He has no son. This these core doctrinal issues are repeated so many times in Quran that it seems beyond doubt that Islam stands on its surface for rejecting Trinitarian doctrine. So undoubtedly, it is drawing inspirations from there. In contrast, the Quran mentions polytheism in sense of paganism only in two insignificant contemporary events, and otherwise exclusively in historic analogies. From an orthodox point of view, differing ideas that denied the Trinity would either be antichrist or godless for denying Jesus being God or pagan in order to avoid the calling the enemy by the name. They would have looked at the Muslims as having embraced the doctrine of the beast, that is Muhammad. So this is the statements which are made by John of Damascus, that he is clearly saying that how these things happen. The first commandment in Exodus is quite clear. It says that you shall have no other gods before me. There are a lot of scholarly interpretations actually that attempt to explain away the Trinitarian difficulty with paganism, but these are not subject to discussion. But this right now is not very much subject to discussion. We won't be dwelling much deep into it. It is believed that Muhammad had merely chanced upon the pre-existing Jewish and the Christian scriptures, the text of the Old and New Testament. Hence, it is unclear what the religious affinities were and who accepted or refuted the teachings of Muhammad. We can't actually recall because he was just picking the words from the Old and New Testament. I'm using the name Muhammad because, of course, there was someone Muhammad, not exactly what Quran says, but this guy was preaching something. So the Quran suggests that the early Muslims, and parallel to the follower of Jesus in the New Testament, had turned away from the new teachings after the Prophet's death. So Ibn Ishaq, if I have to quote Ibn Ishaq is the guy who writes the biography of Muhammad after 200 years, right? Portrayed Islam as evaporating. So he says that Islam was going away. Although this evidence is inadmissible because he clearly stated that relapse into the idolatry took place and that Judaism and Christianity rose again, both remaining unclear as to author's understanding. So it becomes so even by the Ibn Ishaq's testimony, it doesn't become very clear. If there had been a nascent Islam in 632 AD, say for example, if we say that it was existing, it turned into a scattered stillbirth. And it seems that the evolution of Prophet Muhammad's last sermon, the way of truth into the Quran, was interrupted for the same time being, if it ever made into the spiritual collection. Despite the presence of 10,000 witnesses to the last sermon, the collective memory seems to have forgotten which surah this might have been. Instead, multiple sectarian versions with competing messages are extant. As an analogy, Islam pretends as if was unclear where Jesus' sermon of the Mount would have to be found in the New Testament. So, in fact, the descriptions given in Quran also and what the biographers of Muhammad are also trying to say, it doesn't make very clear that the religion of Islam are existing. It is always justifying the fact rather that just a new sect of people had come who had rebellion thoughts about the existing orthodoxy of Christianity and things like that.